Next, I'd like to bring Randy into the fold. Randy, later this year, will commemorate the 20th anniversary of the establishment of Millwright Communications, a business communications and public relations firm specializing in high-profile executive messages. Following a 10-year career as a corporate and entertainment lawyer, during which time Randy learned the value of money and the meaning of boredom, he has devoted himself to the art and science of writing and to honing his craft. Randy writes speeches for business executives as well as academics and is co-writer, ghostwriter, and/or editor of numerous business and sports-related books. He has also published hundreds of news stories and features, most of them written during stints as sports editor at Michigan Alumnus and at the Ann Arbor Observer, and as a regular contributor to the Metro Life section of the Detroit News. Randy is our guest speaker for the night. He is not a Toastmaster yet. Randy, you write speeches for others, not necessarily so much for yourself. When you're creating the structure of a speech for someone, what are the primary rules or conventions you follow, and how much do you take into account your client's own sensibilities and speech-making abilities?
Thanks, Andy. You know, I actually try not to get too caught up with too many rules. I need to stay flexible to accommodate my clients' own preferences. And especially with new clients, I need to learn what their comfort level is with certain types of formats and then write to their strengths. But that said, I'm certainly aware of a number of speech writing conventions. And I pay attention to a few of them, even if I don't necessarily follow them all the time. The first one, and perhaps you've heard some of these, is to start with a joke. The second is sometimes referred to as tell, tell, tell. So it's tell them what you're going to tell them that, tell them what you just told them. And the third is a problem solution. So you describe a problem and you present a solution. In essence, really just try to move some kind of agenda forward. But, you know, to my mind, all three of these rules are really intended to address the same set of issues. And that is to grab and hold the audience's attention and to do it immediately. Second, to provide a blueprint as to where you're going and make it easy for the audience to follow. And the third is make them want to follow you. Create an atmosphere, in other words, so that the audience cares about what you're going to tell them. So, you know, you can accomplish, it seems to me, all of these goals in whatever way that you're really most comfortable, whatever structure or format, and there are a number of them. But to my mind, you know, there's one device that best advances all three of them at once, and that is the telling of the story. And so I will usually at least try to suggest to a client that that's the way to go about it, tell a story. And if they're amenable, I talk to them also about really conceiving of the speech, the entire speech, as a story. And then as far as storytelling techniques or the structure of the storytelling, which is probably more important than anything once you decide that you're going to tell a story. Three things. One is to personalize it. I mean, make it about you, or at least don't be afraid to make it about you. Or make it about the audience, or certainly something that the audience really cares about, so that it's personal to them. The second is to start in the middle of the story, actually, in the sort of the dramatic crux of it. And I think this is especially important for speech writing, for the reasons that I've just been describing. And then lastly, once you're there in that middle, engage in what is sometimes referred to as lowercase e or small e storytelling. So you start in that middle and you kind of wind around back to the beginning. And then you make really your major points. It becomes the body of your speech as you get yourself back to that crucial middle portion. And then you can gain momentum and then finish with a flourish. And then perhaps most importantly, tie that conclusion in with the setup that you've created for maximum impact.
Thank you, Randy. Do any of you have any further insight on that particular aspect?
No, but I really liked the idea of starting in the middle, going back to the end. That's because then you hit it. You know, you hit that point that's really the most interesting part of the speech. You hit it right away with that. That's really good.
Thank you, Ken.